Hey people, what's going on? Well, here's one of those videos where I have to do the video. Actually, this is the second time I'm doing it because when I went to check my video, somehow the mic setting had gotten switched to line in, so there was no sound. It's funny to me how that can happen. You know, you just inadvertently somehow Anyway, I received some music, a couple of records from a vinyl community member, Dereck Fisher. So I want to thank him and show you what he showed me. Just a couple albums. Thank you so much. Also want to let you know that I'm up early, even though I didn't sleep, because Chemicals, the band, and my new band, had its debut gig last night, and it was fabulous. It really was. Video was taken, so when that gets uploaded online, I'll share it. It was a fantastic night. A few flaws, you know, working with a young band. Some of them gigging is still new, so a few fluffs, but overall it was amazing. And the main thing was the audience response. The place was packed. You know, I love it when a great part of the audience is other musicians and artists, because they want to know what's going on. And it was one of those kind of audiences. Everyone from people from The Faint to Arenda Fink, High Up, and all these other bands and visual artists, they're all there because they've heard the buzz. There's a buzz about Chemicals. We delivered. I'm really excited about this band. I am. We pulled it off. I had spoken in the video that didn't. Dang it! I got to make sure to check that. But I talked about how when I start over with bands and play with younger people, there's an excitement and a frustration, because when you work with young people, you see them doing things that you've learned already not to do, or you've learned from. But you can't, some things you can offer information, others you just have to watch and let them make the mistake. Because I remember myself, when I went through it and people tried to help me, and it's like, you just have to go through it. But the gig was overall a smashing success, especially judging from the audience reaction. I mean, I had 3 complete strangers come up to me afterwards and wait, saying, you know, with their eyes just bugging. It's like, that was so real. You know, can I hug you? Another lady who apparently knows who I am and my rep, you know, she comes up and says, I just want to come up and hug you and say namaste, namaste. Wow, that's badass. That's what I live for. That's what I was saying in the other video. These moments of connection and art and creating something vibrant and alive. It's wonderful. It's why musicians and artists and people that do things creatively are so that's why drugs and alcohol can be such an issue for people that are creative, to help them deal with the tides of emotion and feelings and energy that you go through with the creative process. It's what I live for, you know, making music and doing art. So Dereck Fisher, young man, I believe lives in Nebraska, possibly, who is a big psychedelic collector. He has a lot of records that he shows. I'm very jealous of. I'll tell you, you're finding records that I wish I owned, you know, from the past. But Dereck sent me a very nice letter, as well as a CD of his own music, which I haven't gotten to yet, Dereck, but I will be listening to this shortly. And he sent me 2 albums to add to my psychedelic collection, which is what I call it, my psych collection. In the late 60s, early 70s, labels such as ABC Records, ABC Paramount, MGM, everyone tried to jump on the psychedelic bandwagon, but they tried to do it in a commercial way. Bands like The Association and Harper's Bazaar were having hits, you know, with sort of neo-psychedelic stuff. And that's what this band sounds like, The Griffin. The World's Filled with Love. You know, it's kind of a light pop sound that has references to things like circuses and, you know, childhood fun, but it also has this kind of hazy, kind of dreamy aspect too. I love this, Dereck. I love this album, The Griffin. Being a train spotter, I looked up the members to see if they'd done anything else. The keyboardist, Vince Morton, also, besides this, arranged and conducted some records for the band The Lettermen when they tried to go neo-psychedelic. Really like this one, Dereck. Thank you. He also sent me Signs of the Zodiac Pisces. Yeah, I taped up the cover. It's, the spine is gone, but I got to tape it up, try to preserve best I can. This was a series that never became popular, even though the Zodiac, What's Your Sign, Baby, was very popular. And they tried to cash in on it with this series. Didn't work. These all ended up in the cutouts. When I was younger, I had most of these because I could find them for like 50 cents, 70 cents, brand, cut out, brand new, sealed. But I got rid of them. I've talked about my mental problems in the past. But so he gave me Pisces. Appreciate it. And I can add that back to the one I've been trying to recollect them when I can find them reasonably. So now I have Pisces to add to. I also have Virgo. This series, the music is done by Mort Garson, another pioneering individual in regards to the use of the synthesizer. Mort Garson. He was the guy behind the music on these. The narrative on this stuff is hokey, but the music is great. So I also so he gave me Pisces. I have Virgo. What else do I have? I have a couple more. I have my sign, Cancer. I have Aries. Cool series. I'd love to get them all back. And I have Aquarius. Great electronic music by Mort Garson. I pulled these other Mort Garson albums because just to illustrate, that he's done a lot of work. I wish I had more of his stuff. But Mort Garson is also responsible for this album. Hair pieces, electronic hair pieces. Electronic versions of the music from the Broadway play Hair. Back when it happened in the 70s, it was controversial. Good songs. And also he is the person responsible for this album, Black Mass Lucifer. Very cool. In the other video I shared some other thoughts and stuff, and I will quickly, because I can still remember what I was talking about. I was showing some other records that I played recently. Sensation's Fixed Finest Finger, Italian band from the 70s. Not all members were Italian, but that's where they were based. Heavily influenced by Pink Floyd, but not a copycat sound, but that is a touch point. Really good. In getting ready for the First Chemicals show we did last night, after rehearsal recently, like I said, I had a listening session with a couple of the members, and one of the albums that I played that I didn't show, or if I did show, I don't remember, but it was mind-blowing for the drummer, was Herbie Hancock's Crossings. This album's from 1972. Wonderful blend of space, jazz, and ambience. Really nothing like it before. And when I played this for John, who's only 19, it blew his mind because he heard everything that we're trying to do right now. 1972 blew his mind. This is amazing. One of my all-time favorite albums of all time, Crossings. Julian Priester and Marine Intrusion, Polarization. Julian Priester was the trombonist from that Herbie Hancock band, and his contribution is major in the sound and what makes that music so amazing. Each member brought so much to it. So this album, not as lauded as the one before it on ECM called Love Love, Julian is trying some groundbreaking ideas here. I think the reason why we don't hear about this is because they really tried to push the envelope, and they don't quite pull it off fully. But if you can get all the way to the last track on side 2, Anatomy of Longing, to me this is one of the first examples of hearing that wonky beat that we hear hip hop loves now, where the beat is kind of fucked up, It's straight, but it's not. It's more of a pulse, body pulse. As I listened to this the other day, I said, man, that's what this is doing. This is 1977. Yeah, badass. Super Sister from the Netherlands, another band from the 70s. Soft Machine was a big influence on this band. Jazzy, psychedelic, progressive, great musicians to the highest bidder. Just excellent. The original of this album is a fold out, which I don't have. This is a reissue. And then another side of music that when I get into the mood for it, I go deep. Slow Dive, Pygmalion. What a beautiful album. What a beautiful album. And I got to show this again because this is an album I found out at Amoeba in LA when I was up there a few years ago. And on Discogs, they list the black vinyl version and they list the white vinyl version. But they don't list this version. I have a vinyl where one album is black and the other album is clear. And this is beautifully pressed. It looks completely official. You know, if it's unofficial, whoever did it, it looks and sounds like a real Creation album's release. Fantastic album. Fantastic album. So, I had waxed on a bit in the last video, like I usually do, and I can't repeat exactly what I said because I always go stream of consciousness. But I think I'm always wanting to reiterate how I'm seeing more clearly all the time because it helps me to deal with the ups and downs of humanity. We all live according to our perspective and our experience through our senses. Everyone thinks that what they see is what's really going on. And many people just don't get that the only thing that you know is your experience. You just assume that everyone is thinking and feeling what you're thinking and feeling, so when you get a certain thought, well, that must be right. And this just causes so many problems because people, many people can't realize, oh, it's just what I'm experiencing. I don't know. I say this all the time in my videos when I share my thoughts about stuff. I don't know this is right. I keep telling you this is what I'm experiencing, so I share it. An example of other people doing the usual of just like a bull in a china shop, being oblivious to knowing that we all have perceptions that we're dealing with and they're not all the same. I've been avoiding political talk on Facebook because it's just madness now. It's worthless. It is, because people are just crazy now, But there was a meme that I really liked, so I shared it on my page where some young actress is in front of the White House and she's giving the finger, and someone wrote a caption which is, "When I hear Republicans speak, this is what I feel." Well, I added to it and said, when I hear Democrats, same thing. And I'm just basically just sharing my point of view that there's just very little difference between the parties behind the scenes, which I know about from experience, okay? Well, someone who is not my friend, but a friend of someone who follows me and is a Trump supporter, puts in his 2 cents, very, I don't want to put him down, but he illustrated through his, I deleted it. I tolerated it for a while until it became abusive, because it always does, because it's adolescent and it shows the lack of insight of the people who I'm talking about, who don't realize their thoughts are just their thoughts. They think this is reality and we're all supposed to think it. So this person comes on blowing his horn about how good the good life in America. I remember when the life was good, and what he was talking about was the good life for middle class white Americans, okay? He described it to a T. A life that I've never experienced, and that even blacks with money never experience. You have the money and the stuff, but you're still on the outside when it comes to white privilege here in America. It just has to be said. And this person, it's like his comments, again, very like this, no perspective, even got to the point of condescending, because short-sightedly, not understanding, all he's doing is expressing his opinion and what he sees, which is obviously a different experience from mine and several other people who had written, And it's just a shame that so many adults don't have this wisdom, this insight. They just come charging into the bull shop with, well, this is what I think, and this is what I know, and this is the way it's supposed to be. And it never works. And yet people keep doing this. And then you have the short-sighted people who are ignorant enough to get mad at you when you try to point it out. It's like, well, I have never had that experience, so I can't say what you just said. I don't have that experience, And then they get mad because I haven't had experience and try to put, you know what I'm saying? And this is what's going on with politics, These people need some enlightenment, I don't know. I just always have to comment about that. Okay, so I'm getting ready to get busy here. I got a meeting. I'm getting my artist resume done professionally for the first time. And we had a meeting the other day. Couldn't finish it, so we're going to try to finish it today. I have so much. Thanks, folks.